are clamoring to gain control of nuclear weapons. What the heck is going on, you say to yourself? How could this be? Why would he do this now? Certainly you can discuss it, but maybe at another time you would consider this during more peaceful times. Now, if you take the Soviet Union's missiles as a number, as of 2007, Russia had a superiority of 2,146 land-based nukes to our 1,600. So they already had land-based superiority. But we had a superiority in sea-launched and air-launched U.S. warheads, right? Now add in the fact that China lumped in with the Soviet Union. We now have, at this point already, an inferior position with regard to nuclear weaponry. So to just talk about U.S. versus Russia in terms of cutting back weapons is ludicrous. Put China and Russia in one pot, and then tell me if we still have nuclear superiority, because we do not. Again, this is a sleight of hand being conducted by the radical internationalists who apparently want to put America's sovereignty in the toilet and eventually tell us exactly what to do with our guns, our flag, our Constitution, and our apple pie. This is going on right in front of your eyes. Right in front of your eyes. Gallup just reported that Obama approval dips to new low. Rasmussen reports -5 when you add up the rising disagree with the approvals. You say, well, wait a minute. What's going on? Why did this happen so fast? Now, what's going to happen when the American people find out about him giving up on nuclear superiority to Russia without so much as a discussion or a vote? He did this while he was on a trip? What do you do about it? When you have no Republican Party, you have a one-party system of a bunch of drugged-out left-wing goons. A bunch of drugged-out left-wing goons running us off the rails. Cap and trade, it's a con. Goldman Sachs, don't say cap and trade, say Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, don't say cap and trade, it's a scam. You schmucks, you don't even know who's running your country. You have no idea. Now, if these gonovs from NYU and Columbia Law who became investment bankers had America's interests at heart, I wouldn't care that they were running the country. I wouldn't care. Say, well, they're the brightest guys around. If guys who did fly fishing stuff, that wonderful, nice fly fisherman, Treasury Secretary, Robert Rubin, who worked for Clinton, if this guy had a scintilla of interest in America and our national security, and Hank Paulson, another wonderful man who worked the Treasury for Bush, if these men cared about America's future and America's security, I'd say good luck to them. They're very smart guys. But I don't believe they do. I believe they're total thieves. My personal gut feeling tells me that they're worse than Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff is a chain snatcher compared to those guys. Bernie Madoff was a chain snatcher compared to the Treasury secretaries. That's what I think. These guys don't have a soul. In my opinion, they're hollow men. They're empty men. They're shells. They live only for the adding machine. They wouldn't know what America was if they tripped over it. They wouldn't know what the U.S. Constitution was if you slapped them in the face with it. They wouldn't know what the American flag was if you wiped their faces with it. That's what I think about them. And who agrees with me? You do. But where's the party that represents us? Where is the voice in Congress that represents you? Oh, I'm sorry, it's Al Frankenstein. He just is the newest senator. He represents the American people. That's right, the clown from Saturday Night Live goes into the biggest comedy club in history, the U.S. Senate. He represents the American people. So we're in a real bad state right now. We got a president selling us out on a daily basis as fast as he can before the American people stand up and say, stop him before he kills us all. Something's wrong with the picture. Why, you ask yourself, does this president, this irresponsible, naive president, if you want to call him that, that's a positive, by the way. See, I'm not calling him a traitor and a conspiracy theorist or a Manchurian candidate. I said this naive president, why is he racing to push through all of these bills? Socialized medicine, socialized auto industry, socialized banking, socialized cap and trade. Why is he pushing it as fast as he can? Because he knows you're going to find out who he is eventually, and it's going to come sooner than he even thought. And already he's in negatives. Where do you think he's going to be by December? Tell me where he's going to be in December. You think he can recover from this? Impossible. So why are they pushing all of this so fast? Because they have to. Because the minute you wake up, you're going to start screaming and yelling. You're going to tell the schmuck who's your congressman you're throwing him out on his butt. You're going to put a dog catcher in, you're throwing him out, and they'll have to get a job. He'll have to go out and rob your jewelry or something in order to make a living rather than robbing the taxpayers. So they're pushing through as much left-wing, internationalist, garbage as they can to get very down in the gutter with you. And now we wake up and you say, well, it's only, business as usual. The Republicans were crooks. They were. They were terrible crooks. They were evil. They were evil. They were some of the most evil doers I've ever seen in my life. They even went to war and kept the war going, crippling and killing men, American men, crippling and killing American men, only to make profit off the war machine. They were war profiteers of the worst kind. They were warmongers and war profiteers of the worst kind. That is why they would not win the war in Iraq, because they didn't want to win the war. They figured, 30 men a month losing their eyes, 30 men a day losing their feet, doesn't matter. As long as the money goes into Goldman Sachs, as long as the money goes into those who put him in office, they were the worst of the worst. So look what we have now. You thought it couldn't get any worse than Bush? Wake up, my friends. It just got worse than Bush.
You're listening to an encore broadcast of The Michael Savage Show. Michael Savage.
Afternoons 3 to 7 on Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.